The host remarks that the Clerk of Oxford sits as coyly and quietly as a new married bride, and encourages him to be more cheerful. Tell us a merry tale. The host insists that anyone participating in a game must play by its rules, and requests a plain spoken story instead of one in high style. The clerk kindly acknowledges the hostess' authority over the company and agrees to tell a tale he learned from a worthy clerk, Francis Petrarch, who is now dead. He praises Petrarch's sweet rhetoric and poetry, but warns the company that Petrarch wrote in an elevated style, particularly exalting the Italian landscape. The tale begins in Saluzzo, a region at the base of Mount Viso in Italy, where there once lived a wise and noble marquis named Walter. Although honorable, Walter preferred seeking immediate pleasures and refused to marry. The people of his realm pleaded with him to take a wife to continue his lineage. They offered to choose the most noble woman for him, but Walter insisted on marrying someone of his own choice, regardless of birth, who would be treated with the respect of an emperor's daughter. Nearby lived a poor man named Janicula, who had a virtuous daughter named Griselde. Walter saw Griselde while hunting and, recognizing her virtue, decided she should be his wife. On the wedding day, without revealing his bride's identity, Walter prepared rich garments and jewelry for Griselde. He went to Janicula's home, asking for permission to marry Griselde. Janicula, astonished, eventually agreed. Walter wanted Griselde's consent before marrying her, and asked her to obey him without resentment. Griselde agreed, and Walter introduced her as his new wife. The Marquis' servants dressed Griselde in expensive clothes, transforming her into someone who appeared noble. Her virtue and excellence became renowned, and soon she gave birth to a baby girl, though she would have preferred a son as an heir. After his daughter's birth, Walter decided to test Griselde. He told her that the nobility wanted their daughter put to death. Griselde, accepting her husband's will, agreed without grievance. Instead of killing the child, Walter sent her to be raised by his sister in Bologna, allowing Griselde to believe the child was dead. Griselde remained steadfast and never mentioned her daughter's name. 4 years later, Griselde had another child, a boy. Walter repeated the test, claiming the nobility objected to the low blood of Janicula succeeding him. Griselde accepted, only pointing out the pain of losing her children. The son was also sent away, and the people began to loathe Walter, believing he had murdered his children. Walter then devised another test. A counterfeit papal bull ordered him to divorce Griselde and take another wife. Griselde remained steadfast. Walter secretly ordered the Earl of Panago to return his children with great pomp, pretending the daughter was to marry the Marquis. Walter informed Griselde of the papal bull, returned her dowry, and sent her back to her father's house. Griselde, stoic, only asked for a simple smock, to spare her the indignity of returning home naked. Walter granted this request, and Griselde returned home in her poor clothes, followed by weeping people. The narrator compares her suffering to that of the biblical Job. The Countess of Panago arrived with Griselde's children. Walter asked Griselde to plan his wedding to his new wife. Griselde agreed, and the people, seeing the new wife's riches, thought Walter was right to change his wife. During dinner, Walter revealed that his new wife was actually Griselde's daughter. Griselde, astonished, reunited with her children. The ladies dressed Griselde in rich clothes, and she and Walter lived happily ever after. Their son succeeded Walter and was kind in marriage. The clerk concludes that Petrarch's story meant for wives to emulate Griselde's humility, but for everyone to be constant in adversity, like Griselde was to Walter. He doubts there are many Griseldes nowadays, and in jest, sings a song to gladden the company,